Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. For today's Throwback Thursday review, we're taking a look at the Premium Bandai exclusive Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. These guys did come in a brown shipper box, which is just a plain brown cardboard box. We've all seen one before, and it says either Gamma 1 or Gamma 2 on it. But because we're doing two figures in one review today, I decided to skip that part and just show you the box that they come in. So their names are in this kind of like silvery font, like all the superhero figures. And then you can see, the figure here in the box and then the picture of the figure on the front. On one side, you'll have another black and white row of images, and then the other side will be blank on the boxes. The back of both has these, smaller images of poses you can get them into, as well as some extra accessories they come with for Gohan. So it's like that first step into having DLC with your figures. And then again, going back to the multiple images. So let's get these guys out of their boxes and take a closer look. And here's Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 out of their packaging. I think aesthetic-wise, they look great. Of course, we could always do with some, shading on the plastic, but I just think overall, they look awesome. I mean, the paint is really clean. Just taking a look at Gamma 1 first. The paint is really clean. The 1 is clean. The Red Ribbon Army logo here is clean. This just looks really nice. It's sad that they're a Premium Bandai exclusive, because I feel like if you really like these characters, now they're locked behind Premium Bandai and you can't get them anymore unless they decide to reissue them. It's down to his belt with the silver, and then the skirt piece here, and then the legs, which are sculpted nicely, and then the boots, which have that high gloss. His gloves are a matte finish. Then you have his blaster there, which looks good. Very nicely painted and sculpted there too. You can actually take this out. And it doesn't have the end of the blaster on it because it's meant to peg into the holster, but that still looks really nice. Put that back in there. And then the soft rubber of the top part of the cape is here, and that's nicely done. And then looking at the face, like that's really nicely done right there. That looks like him. Has a little shark fin up there. Looks good. And then looking at Gamma 2, again, his outfit is really nice as well, just in the blue motif, same kind of level of detail. His blaster there on his holster, on his hip, the belt, the soft skirt piece down to the boots, which are that same high gloss, and even the bottom of the feet is matte, if you want to take a look at that. And it is a black plastic, so it's different colored, so they did a good job with that. Again, the Red Ribbon Army logo on his shoulder is nice. And then looking at his head sculpt, like, that's really good. That looks like him. Really nice. So to go over articulation, I'm only going to do it for one, because they have the same amount of articulation. So looking up, both of them can look up very far. They can look down pretty far as well. No kind of hindrance. There's a slight gap right here when you look up too far with the neck. But, you can kind of finagle that to kind of hide it. But they do get solid head tilt. You can turn all the way around if you want to. Actually, it's kind of hard to turn it around, but you can do it. And then for the shoulders, you can get them up to about this much. They have these like shoulder pieces here that are attached on to the shoulder, like back in the day 2.0 Goku bodies. And I guess current Goku bodies, because they're still using the 2.0 mold. But that moves around on a little ball peg. And then you do have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that get nice range, and they don't look half bad. Then the wrists are on a standard ball hinge, and they stick out of the cuff a little bit because this is not a soft plastic, this cuff. So you can get that movement still. And then they do have a butterfly joint, which, let's see, does it really do anything? It does. So you do have a butterfly joint. You can cross it across his chest. That's what it looks like from the back. Of course, ugly because of, action figure articulation, but it's an action figure. If you want the movement, it's there. And they don't really go back at all. And then for the torso, he can go back a far, way far amount, like pretty far. Then going forward, very far as well, but you do get this huge gap in the back, so just don't look at it from the back. And it does lift up, and you can pop it back down. But when you push it forward, it's gonna pop up anyways, so just keep that in mind. They can tilt side to side, and they can swivel, which is nice. And this belt is a separate floating piece. Their skirt piece is soft. It has a couple splits, so one split here, one split there. So to spread the legs all the way out, you can get full splits. And you can kick up pretty far. Just nice. Double jointed knees, which look awesome. Like, that is a really nice clean sculpt. And they do have upper thigh swivel. And then for the boot, there's no boot swivel, but it can go up about that much. Oop, took it off. I guess just to take a closer look, it is on a tiny ball peg, so be very careful with that, because you can definitely break it if you're not careful. But it's a pretty long ball peg, so I guess that's why it's allowed a bit more movement. But yeah, it can go up about that much, down about that much. Then you do get a nice ankle pivot actually with it. That looks pretty good. And then you do get a toe joint, which is also pretty good. So yeah, these guys can move around really, really well. Like, you can get them in their, you know, iconic pose that they did from the movie when they first started out, or at least Gamma 2. You can get him in his pose. One more thing to note is that on the back, you do have the hinge here for the cape. I don't know why they gave them a hard plastic cape, especially for a premium Bandai. They could have definitely gone with a soft goods cape, but we'll get into that in the accessories. So yeah, I think these guys move around pretty well. Again, Gamma 1 doesn't do anything differently. Like, he still looks up the same amount, still looks down the same amount. All of his articulation is the exact same. So let's get on to their accessories. So for their accessories, they both come with a cape, a hard plastic cape. This is Gamma 1's, and this is Gamma 2's. I mean, it's nicely sculpted, but it's just, you know, you put it on the figure and then it sits on him. He has that soft piece covering up the top, but one, it makes him kind of back heavy a little bit. So you have to be pretty careful or pretty vigilant when posing them. I mean, they'll stand with it, and it looks good once it's posed. It's just I don't really care for a hard plastic cape. So I did end up buying these cloth capes from Daredevil 19, I think during one of his sales. So that was pretty cool. These are awesome. If anyone's bought these capes actually and knows like the best way to put these on without destroying this figure, that would be good to know. Right now I just kind of drape it over his shoulders. I guess I could just glue it on top of this, but that looks pretty cool with having that cloth cape on there. And then I also got one for Gamma 1. But beyond that, that's not an accessory that actually comes with it from Premium Bandai. For Gamma 2, he comes with a couple head sculpts. So this is the neutral one he actually comes with in the box. This looks really nice. Very nice face sculpt. And then he comes with a yelling face, which is really nice. Looks good. And then a teeth gritted face. Also looks pretty good. Still has that attitude that he has in the movie. And then the one I have on him is the one that's looking off to the side, which is pretty cool. The only other faceplate I would recommend that they give him, or if they do a different version of him, is to give him the one where he's, you know, doing the charge into Cell Max. I guess spoilers if you haven't seen that movie. That's pretty old, but by this point, I think every video game has spoiled it for Dragon Ball. He also comes with the full version of his like Shark Blaster, and it has a little porthole in the front. But you can't put anything in there. If you can see right there, it's filled in. But yeah, this looks good, really nicely painted, has the 2 on there. And then for hands, he comes with a pair of splayed out hands. These are all nicely sculpted and painted. I don't like that it has that seam line though right there in the middle. But then he has a pair of gripping hands or blasting hands for his blaster. He has a pair of these rock-on hands, but this is for his signature pose. Or I guess you can call them flipping hands. And then he has a pair of flat palm hands, like karate chops. And then his bonus accessory that he comes with, he has 2. One of which is this cape for Ultimate Gohan. Again, it's still a hard plastic. It's on a hinge. And this part is soft. So that's one of them. And then the other one is actually A head sculpt for Gohan with the glasses. That's actually on my Gohan that's like way up in my display, but this is what it looks like right here. It looks pretty cool. I believe you can actually take the glasses off. I don't know why you'd want to do that. They're kind of pegged in there. But that's pretty cool. And then for Gamma 1, he has the neutral head sculpt that he's wearing currently. And then he comes with, it's like a yelling or maybe like a confused face, which looks really nice. But then he comes with a much more neutral face. His mouth is pretty small. So like just taking these heads off, this should show the difference. Like this one is kind of like a frown, and then this one is like very neutral. And then he too comes with a teeth gritted face. Or maybe it's like a cocky teeth gritted face. Pretty good. And then he has an actual yelling face for like blasting or, you know, powering up or whatever you want him to do, which all look very good. Then he has the crossed arms here. I guess you could probably put these crossed arms on either one. It looks like the setup is probably the same. I mean, they're dressed the same, so I don't see why not. But these are good. They don't split apart or anything, so you just got to take off both arms and put them on. He too comes with a blaster. So this one says Gamma 1. Or it doesn't say Gamma 1, it just has a 1, and then you see the red eye there. Again, there's a hole, but you can't put anything in it. And it's got like the shark motif, which is cool. And then he comes with a pair of these action hands. The gun holding hands. And then the flat karate chop type hands, which all look really good. Then his bonus accessory for Gohan is a Super Saiyan head, which is pretty good. It looks like Gohan. There's something, I don't know, there's something off about when Tamashii Nations makes Gohan heads. I can't put my finger on it, but something just doesn't, like it looks like Gohan, but something just doesn't feel right. I don't know. Also, they made the hair like a really light blonde plastic, and the eyebrows are a little darker, but I guess that, and the sides of his hairs are a little darker. That'd be fine if the sides were painted the same color as this, and the eyebrows are darker, that's fine. I just wish it was all a little bit more cohesive. And then he has two face plates that come with that, so he has a yelling face, which I think looks good. And then he has the teeth gritted face right here, which looks good. So yeah, that's all their accessories. They come with a ton of stuff, so I guess, you know, they kind of live up to the premium Bandai moniker, but it also just sucks that you have to buy them. If you didn't like the Gammas from the movie, you still have to buy them to get these extra parts for Gohan. That probably should have came with them. But yeah, let's get into some size comparisons. Alright, so for size comparisons, here they are standing next to two other superhero line figures. So Superhero Son Gohan, who they constantly reissue, and then the Superhero Goku, who I believe you can still get relatively easily. Neither of these are premium Bandai exclusives, but I think they look really nice standing next to them. Then here they are standing next to two of the newer SH Figuarts, Gokus and Vegetas. Again, I still think they stand pretty nicely. SH Figuarts is an interesting scaled line, but I still think that this will work out in a display. And then here they are standing next to a Jaded Toys Chun-Li and a Jaded Toys M. Bison. I chose M. Bison because he too has the same kind of motif with his cape having those buttons up top. But again, I think it just looks better with it wired behind him, and these guys will look awesome with that wired cape as well. But they scale pretty well with these guys. And then finally we have them standing next to two other superheroes, which is the Marvel Legends Animated Series Spider-Man and the Marvel Legends Iron Man here. Again, because they're a little bit taller, I think they do fit in quite nicely with these guys. And you can have them posed with other superheroes on your shelf. Alright, so for my final thoughts, I definitely think these guys are worth the pickup. If you didn't get them on Premium Bandai, I'm sorry, you gotta find them on the aftermarket now. Hopefully they'll reissue them, and maybe do a version of him where he's doing like the final attack for Cell Max, and then you get maybe like a battle damaged Gamma 2, or Gamma 1, sorry, 2-pack. But it would be worthwhile to just reissue these guys as they are, as like a 2-pack. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, if you pick these guys up, let me know what you think about them. If you're glad you have them in your collection. I know we all kind of hate that DLC mechanic, and I think they could have used that plastic to just give them some more faces or cool accessories. It would have been super cool to get some effect pieces that have like the comic book words or explosions with them. Even if they're just like little plastic cutouts, I think that would have been cool. And again, for the capes, definitely would have wanted those cloth capes on these guys as well. But yeah, as far as me revisiting these guys and pulling them out of my, collection to take a look at one more time, I'm definitely glad I got them. But thank you guys for watching. Take care and have a great rest of your day.